Humble to be here on episode 10 of jpmusic. Um, Yesterday I missed my mark and didn't upload an episode to keep you guys updated on yesterday's part of my journey. But I will be doing this episode and we'll be doing an episode this evening to talk about um, where I'm currently at on my journey. This episode will be to cover yesterday's thoughts and, um, you know, um, part of where I was at um, in my creative process. So to update you guys on where I was yesterday, um, I had a thought about where I'm currently at. Um, some weeks into this creative process that is towards my first album that will be hopefully on all DSPs and the right mediums um, when released to the world before my 29th birthday next year of next year. So I'm in a creative space where I lock in for about 5 hours throughout the day. And it varies. It could be, it's been 3, it's been less than 3, it's been, sometimes 6, like a day like today, I am in my space of creation for more time than a typical day. Just based on intuition. But, you know, um, I spend time to think in this creative space, this safe space that I've cultivated for myself. And, notes that I take throughout the day, thoughts that I take throughout the day, mental notes, I put them all together um, and put them to pen or put them to my notes in my phone to have a more clarity on what I'm thinking and what I'm trying to create at that moment. And in these sessions, I realized, and it was sparked because I heard it from another artist I admire, and I've really taken a deep dive into lately, which is Larry June. Um, Probably like 3-4 weeks into this process, and it sparked a correlation into what I was doing, right? And it makes sense that he expressed that for upcoming artists and new artists, and I put myself in that category, more established and official as the days go by now, right? As more than they were 5 years ago. He said that for beginners to lock in for an hour, 30 minutes for a session to create at a time. And gradually as time passes and you proceed to get better and better at your craft, which is the hope, to add more hours, getting hopefully better and better at your craft. I'm at that point where these 5-hour sessions I'll spend about sometimes I've realized it has been those 30 minutes, where I knock out a song in 30 minutes, songwriting, and knock one out in 30 minutes. There have been times where I find myself transitioning from phone to paper for an hour and a half, 2 hours, verses and rhymes, that schemes that I've, put together to the paper. And um, you know, um, the more as time passes, I can relate to what he said, what Larry June has said about, you know, gradually building up. I believe for me, it's going to be a gradual build up, of course, but it's going to be a slowly but surely process and grind towards becoming the um, artist and musician that I am proud of, in terms of aiming for to be a successful artist and musician in this field that I'm in, and have transitioning and transitioning into, right? The humble beginnings and the early stages, without a shadow of a doubt. But I will say, on the flip side, I'm just as proud now, for making the transition and actually deciding to pursue this process and journey of becoming in front of the world, in, you know, the world's context of what a successful artist and musician is. And to be very intent and transparent with you guys, I did make an announcement about 3 days ago on officially on platforms through YouTube and distributing it on other platforms. The announcement of me transitioning into this decade of, and truly a lifestyle of an artist, because that's what I believe I truly am. Aside from handling and dealing with business on another note, another hat that I wear, being an artist is what I believe I truly am. And this transition I mentioned, I'm very proud of, and I gave myself external. Well, it doesn't really mean anything, right? But it's something to pursue externally, in this process of being a musician and an artist. To attain, for me, I gave a number to it, and metrics don't matter, without a shadow of a doubt, in my heart and my spirit. I don't move by metrics at all, and they truly don't matter. But my measure of success, for the fun of the process, I gave myself, if and when this moment happens, it'll be documented, right? That moment where I can successfully sell my product of art and music to the world, for a yearly income of $80,000, right? And that metric will completely vary because, like I said, let me just say, that will be my measure of success externally, for the fun of the pursuit. But every day, the true win, and to get on a deeper and more personal level with you guys, the true win is actually making this transition to create music and songs and being an artist in its truest nature, and musician, performing the art in front of my closest family, friends, and peers, and the world, is the true win. But on record, an external metric that has no meaning, but I put out into the world as a pursuit Um, and as a way to, really tell myself when I reach that point, I am secure with making this my career as I've always envisioned it, and have intently said this in the beginning before pursuing it, and why I pursue this art. Um, you know, uh, is what matters most to me, right? And that's just what I intend to make my lifestyle, and to love this process. At that point, past that point, as far as I can go, uh, with within good reason, um, of how I feel will sustain my happiness, my peace, and my love for myself at that point, just as much as right now, in the early beginning stages of this process. Um, so yeah, these are the thoughts I wanted to share from yesterday, and I will be back on to update you guys after locking in for the time I allotted myself to create and think in this space, this creative space, safe space that is part of my creative process today. And this is episode 10 of JPJ. Excuse me. That is another show I have, completely different, pardon me, of JP Music, episode 10. I'm Jonathan Prentice, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.